Hey everyone, this is Mike.
Hey, and this is Josh.
And we are Real Dead. And
Yep.
Today we're going to do a special video, Josh, on following up on the Smoky Mountain Terror event that we just went to, the con that I just went to. And there was a gentleman there we met. We'll introduce him here in a second. That it got a lot of attention. The videos are doing really well, and we're glad about that. But there was something at that convention that kind of grabbed everybody's attention. So I think we just jump straight in and introduce our guest and kind of let him introduce himself, and then we can go straight into this convention stuff, right?
Yep, go ahead.
Because this is one of your favorite franchises, right?
Yeah, look.
Friday 13th. Oh, you even got it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think our guest here has some stuff from Nightmare on Elm Street, which I know Freddie's one of your favorites as well. So let's go ahead and add him on right now. Hey, Claude, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
So we got Dr. Claude here. And Claude, how about kind of introduce yourself to the people that's going to watch this video, and then we can kind of go back to this weekend and kind of recap a little bit of Smoky Mountain Terror, but then also dive into some of these. You got some really cool movie props, and I think the people watching this video would love to hear a little bit of the background story on each one of those items. So you want to kind of introduce yourself and let everybody know what's, your background?
Sure, absolutely. My actual name is John. I've been a collector of horror movie memorabilia for several years now. But I'm not your average everyday collector. I don't do much with posters or 11 by 17s. I can't stand Funko Pop. I don't like them. I think they flooded the market and caused autograph prices to skyrocket, which sucks for me. Because
that's a good point. I never thought about that though, with as many of them out there and everybody's signing them. If anything, you kind of thought it would maybe make the price go down though, wouldn't it?
You got people that'll go into these shows and bring like a wagon full of them that are going to be on eBay in the next 12 hours.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
And these guys know that.
Right.
We've been able to get away with some of the stuff we do because a lot of the celebrities we deal with know who we are. They know who I am because they've seen my stuff, and my stuff does bring a little bit of attention because you don't see people doing the kind of stuff that we've done. Sean Cunningham from Friday the 13th actually just put up a video a few days ago about one of my items.
Oh, cool.
And I have pictures of like him and his wife with the item and hanging out, and it was just cool to see him reunited with that piece.
And I got a snapshot out there of something that needs an explanation. The guy came up to me and said, "Sean, would you sign my Canoe for me?" And I'm thinking a little, thing in a box or something. I said, "Sure." And next thing I know, he brings out this full-blown Canoe, which he claims he got from the original Friday the 13th lake at Camp Novi Bosco. And I said, "No way, that's like 40 years ago." And he goes, No, I tracked it down. I said, what happened? And he went out to the camp, and they said, no, they had junked it a long time ago. He said, where? And he tracks it down to some place in Iowa where Boy Scout camps or camps put all of their old stuff. And he talks to the people, and he finds this Canoe. And apparently they had a serial number on it, and the serial number identified it as the one that was in the movie. So he makes a deal. They give him the Canoe. He gives them $5,000, go figure, and puts it on his car, and he's been going around the country ever since getting people to sign it for him. And it just was a delightful, inventive thing that you'll say, "How come you're putting this picture up of a Canoe?" And that's why. That's how
we went and saw him because he never comes anywhere close to us. Now he's going to be near us like 4 times this year.
Oh, that's cool. That's definitely somebody I want to get on one of the signs I have. So let me kind of set the stage a little bit for how this kind of interview or this collaboration took place. And Josh, you jump in here with questions as you got them. But So we were waiting in line, or I was waiting in line. And I think you had to as well, John. But like I got at the convention Saturday. Corey Feldman was the big one for me. That and Dick Warlock. I'd missed Dick Warlock at several conventions, and finally he was there. So I got him to sign like 5 things on Friday. Friday was great at Smoky Mountain Terror. There's hardly no lines. You went in, did what you want to. But I thought Corey was going to be there Friday as well. And unfortunately, maybe I misunderstood that, but he was there Saturday. I got there at 9:15. I did not have a VIP. I paid the regular admission in. So I was waiting from 9:15. We got into the building. I'm not going to go into details of the debacle that happened there because I've already talked about that in the 2 videos. But I think you and I both were outside waiting in line to get in to get his autograph.
Yeah.
And while I'm standing there, they had the gentleman, I think his name's Redding, that was in Deliverance. But all the people around me were like, "Man, that's the canoe from Deliverance." I was like, "No, I see number 6 on that thing." And I said, "There's only one canoe that's got number 6 on it. That is a Friday the 13th. And I didn't know if it was real or replica, but I went over there and started talking to your fiance, and she told me that it was the original. And I was like blown away. There's some awesome autographs on there. So I'm going to let you kind of take over and number one, tell us, like, for somebody that's watching this is like, how do you really know that's the original, canoe? Or I even think they probably had 4 or 5, 6 different canoes that were using originally. But tell the average person watching this how you came up with this, and then more details about this canoe and some of the autographs you have on it.
Well, I love Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. Almost exclusively, that's what I collect. I love horror in general, but those 2 franchises, just with the backstories and whatnot, just kind of, catch my attention. So I was thinking a few years back, I'm like, what could I do that nobody else has done? And big enough to hold a host of autographs. So I started thinking, I wonder if I could actually track down a canoe from the Boy Scout camp that it was originally filmed at. Because for those people that don't know, the original Friday the 13th was filmed at a Boy Scout camp out in New Jersey.
Yep.
So I just started making calls. And finally, I ran across a Boy Scout camp that said, yeah, we have a bunch of, ones that were just junked and they've just been sitting here on a pile. Okay, cool. And it was from some rinkety old Boy Scout camp that went around and just like bought these things up because they used them for recycle to, pay for their camp. All right, cool. So I went out there and I'm talking to the guys and they said, well, we have a few from this Boy Scout camp in New Jersey. And I'm like, which one? And they told me, and I'm like, So I went and I looked, and, they were running through all their serial numbers and different things that they had. And one of them came back to the year that the movie was shot and from that location. And from talking to, some other folks that have been out there, they only had a limited amount of canoes at the camp anyway. And I mean, yeah, they probably had 4, 5, 6, 7 canoes out there. But it had to be was it a Groman, or I can't remember the exact name, but I'm like, well, there's one with the Groman sticker on it, and it had number 6 on it.
So it already it still had number 6 on it for after all these years. And what year was this when you tracked this down?
Oh God, it was probably, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago that I tracked it down. And the number 6 was really faded. So the number 6 had been redone. I brightened it up. I probably shouldn't have, but I wanted it to look good.
Right.
So I hand painted it back on there, just covering up the original paint. And you can see, if you look on the side of the canoe, where the original Groman sticker was, because you can see where all of the other decals from all the different places this thing has been. And so I contacted the manufacturer of the canoe, and they looked it up and they sent me a new sticker for it.
Okay.
So I was able to get that replaced. And
did you have to have it restored at all? Or I mean, was it dented up, or did it have to be buffed out or polished out any?
I didn't polish it. I didn't do anything.
Wow.
Yeah, I just left it as is, redid the 6 and then put a new sticker on there.
Wow. So yeah, this thing got a lot of attention, and I mean, it's just let's just say it wasn't, which it sounds like you're saying that from what you tracked it back, it there's a very good chance it could be. But even
right.
I mean, just having a canoe signed is something, and that's a very unique. I've never seen it before at a convention that I've been to, that somebody bring in something that large to be signed. But how many autographs do you currently have on it now?
I'd probably say 40-ish.
And
do you have all the Jason, the people under the Jason mask on the canoe?
A majority of them, yes.
I know maybe some were already gone by the time you got it.
Steve Dash was already gone. I have a multi-signed Jason jersey that has Dash and who's the Ted White.
Right.
And all of them except Richard Brooker. Those are the only 3 that are not present. I currently, one of the bars, the rivets had snapped. So I sent the bar off, and I've got Ellen Lutter. I've got, and I'm getting the 2 young Jasons from Indianapolis on the bar, so I can have it re-riveted back into place. And because of a convention coming up, Crystal Lake Nightmares, out there in California.
Yep.
It's got like 25 people that I don't have.
Right.
Wow.
So the other 2 bars are going to come off the canoe, and we're actually going to fly to California and get those 25 people on those 2 bars.
Wow. That's a lot of autographs on 2 bars.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah. Listen, so I don't know where I was, somewhere, and Mike messaged me. He said, someone brought a canoe, and I said, what the heck? Yeah, that was the first that I heard of the canoe. And then, of course, I saw it in the video that Mike put out. But yeah, he messaged me and was like, someone brought a canoe, and I'm like, for what?
I thought it was Deliverance too at first, and then when I saw the number 6 on it, I said, no. I said, that's got to be Friday 13th. And I was like, what if it's the original? And then I think you were going in and out of the convention, and I talked to your fiance, and I was like, is this a replica, or is it? She said, no, we think it's the original. And I was like, wow. So then I went back and told all the other guys that I'd been in line with for 5 hours, and they were like, no way. Let me see if and listen, y'all were very nice and cordial and allowed me to video it, because some people are funny about stuff like that. But you guys let me video it, and I really appreciate it. And then when you messaged Josh the other day and said you want to talk about it, I was like, damn, he's probably pissed off at me because I said it may not be the right one.
No. And even with the serial numbers and all that stuff and tracking it back to the Boy Scout camp, I know it was there. I know the chances of it being screen used are pretty good, because they had a bunch of them on screen. Well,
if you look at the video too, because I went back before you contacted Josh, and Josh contacted me. As soon as I got home, I went back and watched the end of that movie where the canoe was in it again. And I noticed in 2 different scenes, I guess they turned it around both the different ways. Because in one scene, the Grumman, or Grumman, whatever the name of the canoe is in the top left, and the next scene it's in the top right. So I knew it's probably originally it may have been on both sides, and they flipped it around, or they fell out and reshot it. But when we went to the original filming location, we got a video on that as well a couple of years ago, me and my son. They took us to the spot where that was filmed at. And it's across the lake from the main area where the dock was at. But they told us that back then that water was only maybe 3-4 feet deep at the deepest.
Yeah.
And now they have like an air bubble thing out there that they hit it and act like Jason's coming out and bubbles come out of the water. But they said it was pretty shallow right there where they filmed that.
Yeah, for sure.
So who's the autographs on there you're the most excited about, or you're like, this is like, I mean, I saw a couple of them, but for the people that hasn't maybe seen the other videos, what are some of the ones that you're like, man, that's pretty awesome?
Well, you mean other than what Corey did?
Yeah, tell everybody what he did, because you told me that story, and listen, I didn't have a bad experience with Corey. It just wasn't what I was hoping it would be. But tell your story, since I've kind of not trashed completely on Corey Feldman, but let's tell your side of the story of your experience with Corey Feldman.
Well, I went in there with a buddy of mine, and we were already in line, blah, blah, blah. And we went in there and we already had our little Post-it notes because they gave everybody Post-it notes. And I told the person that came out to do the Post-it notes, because I didn't want to pay $160 for the damn signature. So I told them my name was Jason. And they're like, is it really Jason? I'm like, absolutely it is. They're like, okay, so it'll be $80. I'm like, all right, sweet. So I get in there and I go up to the guy and he's like, what do you got to sign? I said, well, I can get it partially through this door, but it's the Canoe from Friday the 13th. And they're like, oh, so the management goes all wonky and leans over to Corey and said, no, we're not doing this for 80. It's a prop.
Ah.
So they ended up dinging me with $300.
Oh, shit.
To sign it. But Corey got up from the table and went out there all just happy as all get out.
I saw it.
And he signed it to Jason. I thought you were dead. Corey Feldman, Tommy Jarvis.
That's really cool though, because I mean, if it would have been a non-personalized, that's 160 anyway, plus his name on there. I mean, it would have been over 200 anyway.
Yeah, didn't he charge for his character name too?
I don't even know. I told his manager, I'm like, because when he was talking to Corey, I kind of butted in and I'm like, hey, just tell me how much money to give you. I will give you the money right now. Just tell me what I got to do to get this done. And then they said 300 and I just paid it.
Wow.
So
is he the most expensive autograph you got on that?
Yes. Yes. I literally, when I was working on the Canoe, I had been in contact with Robert Englund's wife, Nancy, and me and her emailed back and forth for about 8 months working on this. So we finally agreed on a private signing with Robert.
Oh, okay.
For my Nightmare on Elm Street motorcycle and my Canoe. And we were going to do it in Denver. So I loaded everything up, took the whole motorcycle and everything all the way out to Denver.
When he was at the Mad Monster?
Yes.
Okay.
So I took it out there to Mad Monster, and I'm sitting in a chair outside Robert's room, and the show knew about it. Robert's wife knew about it. Everyone was supposed to know about it. It was supposed to be a done deal. This lady comes out of his room, and she was all kinds of pissy. And she goes, well, he's not going to do it today. He's not going to do it tomorrow, maybe Sunday. I'm like, I'm heading back to Iowa Sunday morning. So that's not going to work. Then all of a sudden, this lady comes out and she goes, oh, hey, what's up, John? I'm glad to see you here. And I didn't recognize her at first. And then I looked at her again, and it was the handler for Brad Dorff.
Ah.
And the reason I remembered that is because I did a stint on reality TV on WeTV for about 3 years, and she was a fan of mine. So she recognized me when I was getting some autographs from Brad. And so she is Robert's handler. And she goes, oh, yeah, I know all about this. Hey, go get the gas tank off the motorcycle, grab your Canoe, come on in this room over here. It'll be me, your fiance, and Robert, and we'll just get it done. So I asked Robert to sign it, and he did signature, character name. He did the doodle.
I saw that.
He wrote a quote on there, and
Which movie was he in again? I hate to say, I'm just take my horse. Which one?
Freddy versus Jason.
Oh yeah, the regular Freddy. Okay, yeah. But he didn't play in any of the other ones that he had been in.
But technically, he's part of the Friday the 13th universe because he was in there.
Yeah.
And then
and technically the character's arm was in Jason Goes to Hell. So
yes, absolutely. With the
even though it was Kane Hodder's arm.
Exactly. Yep. And then of course
we're dropping knowledge on Mike right now. He don't have a clue. He's like,
oh, absolutely. I also have Alice Cooper on there.
Awesome.
Now, has Alice Cooper signed the Canoe, or did he sign another item that?
Oh, he signed the Canoe.
Okay.
So I was trying to think of people that you might not have on there that are living. Do you have Crispin Glover on there?
I'm actually working with his management right now to try and get it signed.
I was going to say, I think he'd be a tough one because I don't think he does cons, does he?
No, but I do have a couple of his autographs, but I got to have him on the Canoe. So I've been emailing his management and trying to get that done. I'm also working on Kevin Bacon.
Oh, yeah. He's another tough one. Yeah.
And if Kevin Bacon does a private autograph signing somewhere, I'm just going to contact whoever's doing the signing with him and say, look, I'll drive out with the Canoe to wherever you're doing it, pay you whatever your fee is, and just get it done.
His might be more than Corey Feldman's, though.
I'm not worried about that.
So I want to, this thing, in my opinion, listen, I'm an OGer. I like the original Friday 13th. Josh knows I like 1 and 2 as good as any of them.
Yep. I like 2 the best.
But to be able to have that for fans of Friday 13th and Jason and the franchise, I'm really shocked. And I think I told you on the phone last night I'm kind of shocked this thing's not you don't set up at a convention and even charge people $10. I had somebody at that con try to charge me $10 for a cosplay with Jason. I would pay $10 in a heartbeat to know that I had a chance to have my picture taken with the original Canoe from Friday the 13th.
Yeah, but then people are gonna want to stand in it, or
No, I'd have it up on the wheels like he's got, and have people just stand behind it, and they can take the picture from the waist up.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any con ask you to come set up like that before, or anybody?
No, I've never inquired. We do a lot with Days of the Dead. I do send-ins for them, so they usually give me a vendor pass, so we get to just run around wherever we need to. Because the Canoe is difficult to navigate sometimes.
Oh, so I would bet.
Even at the cons that I'm really familiar with and that know me really well, we try and get any signatures I need on the Canoe right out the gate.
Right.
Is the Canoe in your house?
No, it's in my garage.
Okay, with a cover over or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a nice rack system set up, and when I'll throw the picture of that because we took a picture of your vehicle out in the parking lot, me and Anthony did, and some video of it as well. I'll blur out your license plate number on that.
Yeah.
But so that's an awesome. Let's stay within the Friday 13th realm here. You told me I know of at least one other item that you had, and actually 2 items I believe you told me. What are some other movie props that you have from the Friday 13th franchise that the fans here watching this may want to know about?
Well, I've got the original door from the 66 Volkswagen Beetle from Part 3.
That's cool.
So I have that. I have a pink Flying V guitar. That one was a hard one because Saffron does not usually sign over here. He's a hard one to track down. So I had been talking to her for 8 years. And she actually put a video up on her Instagram trying to find me.
From Part 8, right?
From Part 8. Yeah, she played JJ.
Right.
So I reached back out to her, and she was doing a convention in San Jose, California. So we bought plane tickets to fly down and then fly directly back. We were only in California less than 24 hours.
Wow.
So we flew down, we hung out with Saffron for a few hours, and then the next morning, her manager was standing in the hotel lobby, and then Saffron came down, so we hung out in the lobby for another hour or two, just kind of chopping it up. So that one's one of my favorites because it's harder to get. I've also got one of 6 sets of machetes from Jason X.
Wow.
They're not screen used or anything, but the guy that either the guy that made them for the movie or someone that was licensed or whatever made 6 sets. I believe Adrian King has one. I have one. I think Kane might have one. But I know they were only given out to the people that were in Friday the 13th. So I, bought the production guys set. So I have that here. A few years ago, I actually drove out to Oregon, and Adrian King met me at the winery where she makes the Crystal Lake wine, which is discontinued now. So we got to spend the day with her on her own turf.
Oh, wow. Hey, going back to the Canoe, I know you got Cunningham, but do you have the other gentleman? What's his name? I know they're battling it out over the rights.
McLaughlin?
No, he was a writer of the movie as well. You had Cunningham and
Yep, I have Cunningham and McLaughlin. Are you talking about Steve Miner?
No, I'll throw it in here later on. I'll put it right over here.
Mike,
I'm horrible with
and
names.
doesn't remember what it is.
Yeah, us people in the South don't give a shit about names.
Yeah, I know that he was in a thing over the rights for Jason, but for the life of me, I can't remember who it was.
Okay. Anything else from the Friday the 13th franchise?
Oh, let's see. Yeah, hold on here.
Any Funko Pops?
No.
Is there some Funkos on your shelf in the background? I think I see a couple.
You do.
Hey, I'm looking at a wall about 20, 25 of them.
I'm looking at that guitar hanging from the wall. That looks pretty cool.
Hey, the spear gun.
No way. That is not the spear gun from the. No way.
Is that the one he jams in the dude, or the one that gets shot into the girl's eye?
The one with the 3 prongs.
Okay, so that's the one that gets shoved into the guys in the lake, right?
Yes.
Yep. And that's in part 6.
They were on a boat, I think.
Or was that part 7?
Might have been part 7.
Yeah, I think it is part 7 because Jason's in the water and the girl's in that boat. He kills her and then the dude, and he lifts him up by it in the water.
No, this is the one where he jams it into the when he walks into the boat.
Oh, that's from part 8 then.
Yeah, and he goes.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
So you are right. That was Victor Miller. I don't know what I had a brain fart there. It was Victor Miller.
Yep. Okay. I mean, he's only killed people with like a harpoon gun 3 times, but
I've told the story. The very first movie I went and saw with my mother was, part 3. That was 3D, and the whole, gun thing, hit the girl in the eyeball. That was pretty awesome. So I thought that was that one at first.
No, that's from part 8. Yep. What's that?
Is that original Monopoly?
From
1964 Monopoly from part 1.
Part 1.
No
okay.
Way. That's pretty awesome right there.
Mike, you're
Sean Cunningham to sign it, and he put a quote on there about strip monopoly. Yeah. And then Ari Lehman was sitting at the next table, and he came over and he's like, "Hey, let me sign that." So
he'll sign anything.
He signed it, and he put Jason Never Dice.
Jason Never Dice.
Yeah, yep. I like that.
So I've got that sign.
That was from the original movie too, though, or is that just a 1964 Monopoly?
It's just a 1964 Monopoly.
Okay, it's still hard to find.
Yeah,
well, Mike, that's like you getting that camera signed by the dude from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's like the same one in the movie.
Yeah,
Right.
The same model and everything in the movie.
I also have one of Steve Dash's challenge coins from when he was a police officer.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay, that's cool.
And it actually has the SAC Jason on his NYPD challenge coin.
Now I saw Warrington's signature on that canoe looked really good. And did you just now get it this weekend?
Yep.
His signature is very unique, and it's very large, but it's a very cool looking signature. But I think he signed it, and then Corey signed to the left of him, and then Robert England signed above, right?
Yep.
That's awesome.
So once you get those 25 people, I mean, that's a really got to kind of slim down the list of people that you still need, right?
Yeah, I'll need Steve Miner, which there's a possibility I might be able to get him in California. And there's a couple other ones I can think of. I haven't been able to get close enough to Adrienne King yet because she hasn't come close enough to here. But
she was in weekend before last right here in North Carolina.
I know. I couldn't get down that far.
She'll be in North Carolina again in September, Mike? Is that September or
August?
Yeah,
they do Mad Monster. She's already signed back up for Mad Monster in Charlotte. So anything else from Friday 13th before we get to the Nightmare? Because I know Josh is a big Nightmare fan too.
Yeah, I've probably got some other stuff from Friday. We're actually getting married on Jason's birthday this year.
Yeah, the 13th, couple weeks, right?
Next week, yep. And we have rented out the entire Camp Crystal Lake.
Wow.
Yeah, tell Josh the story about the machete, because you told me that last night too. About the machete being used at the wedding.
Oh yeah, we have a CJ Graham signed machete that he signed specifically for our wedding that we're going to use to cut the cake.
That's awesome.
That is really cool.
And you gonna have Jason? Is Jason gonna be your best man?
Yes, he is actually.
That's awesome. That's cool.
We had a special effects guy that's worked. I don't quote me, but I think on like Sharknado and some other horror flicks. Specially designed my suit for the wedding, and it's actually got my spine coming out the back. It's all ripped up like I've been running from Jason. It's got blood on it.
That's cool, man. That's
really cool, man.
And we're getting there on the dock.
That's awesome, man. You got to get video of that. I mean, that's
sure.
A couple of shorts right there, right, Josh?
Yeah.
So what about Nightmare on Elm Street? You said Nightmare is another big favorite of yours.
Absolutely. My favorite thing from Nightmare that we have, it's actually parked in my living room, and I sent you some pictures of it with the jump rope girls. But I worked with Danny Hassel for about a year about what motorcycle he died on in Nightmare on Elm Street. So we decided that it was a 1985 or 86, somewhere around there, Honda Nighthawk.
What part was that again? Was that part
5, I think?
Yeah, I think it was, where all the stuff goes in his hand.
Yeah. So I tracked one down and I bought it. Had the gas tank taken off. I took it to an airbrush guy, and he airbrushed the face on there when Freddy was all metallic and looking up at him. So I've started getting that signed. And I've got all of the Kruger family on there, except for Lisa Zane, who played his daughter. Alice Cooper even signed Mr. Underwood and put a quote about taking your medicine or something like that.
Yeah, because he played Freddy's dad, right, in Flashback? Yeah. I forgot about that.
And I also have Beatrice Beeple on there, who played Amanda Kruger.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the, I have the whole family tree except for Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting her Scarefest.
What about Johnny Depp? Have you got his signature on that?
I don't have his signature on it. I do have his signature, but I don't have it on any of the props yet because of personal reasons. I don't like him. I don't think I could be in the same room with him.
Okay.
It would be a conflict of interest for me.
Okay. Gotcha.
Fair enough.
To meet him in person. I do have his autograph though. We did get to meet Patricia Arquette.
Okay.
And you being a Nightmare guy.
Yeah.
Let me show you this guy right here. This is one of my favorite.
Yeah, I saw that hanging back here.
Yep. This is a Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors guitar.
Awesome.
George Lynch.
He's on there. So is the entire band Dokken.
Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
I went backstage at one of their concerts using my celebrity status, and they all autographed it for me. I've got all the Dream Warriors on there. I've got Robert Englund on there. I now have Patricia Arquette on there. And the only one I don't have, which I'm hoping to get when I go to California, is Penelope Sudrow.
Okay.
And I've done private signings with her before, so she knows me.
Wow.
So we're working on getting that done.
Okay.
But I like the big things. I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, you want something unique, and I get that, because that's kind of like me. Now, my bad thing is I got that one sign that I bought at Camp Nobi Scobie or whatever it's called.
Yep.
But that was made there by the counselors and hand painted by the counselors and stuff to raise money there. The only thing I hate about that is everybody has the Spirit Halloween one that looks like it. And when you take it to people, they're like, oh, this is just another Spirit Halloween one. Well, no, to me, it means a little more, because I bought it there when I went and saw the movie there and got to see the filming locations.
Absolutely.
But I like things like that are unique, maybe even a little bizarre, that you may have that people, because people are always wondering, like, I never really thought about that until I saw your canoe. I was like, damn, that could be the original canoe, or hey, what if it's the original vehicle or the original door off of a Friday the 13th? I mean, on the door, are you trying to get signatures on that as well, or you just have the door?
I just have Larry Zerner's signature on it.
Gotcha.
So Mike, now Mike's going to be trying to track down all these movie props now.
I got empty pockets. I can't do none of that stuff. I'm telling you. Right. So that's kind of, I mean, you don't have to bring up numbers to us. You can just say yes or no, and you don't have to do that. Is some of this stuff you have is so unique. When you get these autographs, have you been offered money to, I mean, like the original canoe? I mean, I would think somebody would want to buy that from you.
I've turned down offers of $20,000 on that canoe.
Wow. Shoot, just an autograph is worth $20,000. I'd probably ask for 100.
I mean, Warrington Gillette, while we were out there at Smoky Mountain, and I don't know if he was joking, but he said, would you be willing to sell it? I'm like, no.
No, I can't sell that.
I just can't do it. I've actually spoken to the camp out there in New Jersey, and the canoe will go back to them when I die.
Okay, so you're going to donate it back to them.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, that's awesome. And I think I was telling you, like, when I went up there to it, they had like the totem pole, the original totem pole. They had it in the area. They had the mailbox. They had the sign, the road sign. And one of the signs, they had told a story that it was supposedly in a camp counselor's garage for 20 some years. And they didn't know it. Yeah, right. But they finally donated it back to them because they knew they was collecting. And plus that Camp Crystal Lake is the money they make there. They try to give back to the Boy Scouts to keep that, keep the cabins and stuff up to date and stuff like that.
Yeah. And, I think that, I wish more people would try and do some more of the unique things, because all in all, eventually, 11 by 17s, even multi-signed, they're never going to hold value like
it's true.
Some of these other things. Funko Pops will never hold value. Nope.
Yeah, there's a ton of them out there. That's something Josh and I were talking about, because I said that I'm going to try to start collecting. Like, I've done a lot of NECA stuff, and I'm like, I want to try to get more unique things that's maybe got a better value to them down the road. Because listen, I'm older. I don't know how much more time I got, but I'm leaving it all for my son anyway. And I'd much rather have him have something that, you know, that could be worth something down the road and more rare than something that was mass produced, you know.
You know, the way to do that and to do it without breaking the bank is you go back through the movies that you like. This is what I've done a lot of. Like, you know, the gas can that Tommy Jarvis was knelt by in one of the Friday the 13th movies.
Mm-hmm.
I tracked an exact one, same year, make, model, colors, everything on eBay.
Like the jerry can, the metal jerry can?
The gas can, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I have two of them. One of them is signed by him. When it came to like the Pink Flying V guitar, I, you know, tracked down one as close to the screen as I could, and I bought it for $200 and took it and got it signed.
Right.
You know, you watch the movies that you like, you find something like the branch trimmer that killed the psychiatrist in Friday the 13th. I have the exact same year, make, and model signed by Terry Kaiser and Kane Hodder.
Yeah, I did that on a piece here for Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the Polaroid camera that I got Ed Neal to sign, and he was selling it for $600 autographed in person. Nothing against his price on there. Yeah. I got it for $28 on eBay, still in the original case, and brought it into him, and he signed it for like $40. So it was.
It's the way to do it. It's them unique pieces that people aren't thinking about getting signed.
A couple things, Josh. You want to ask some favorites, like favorite movies and favorite?
Oh yeah. So out of the Friday the 13th, like, well, let me ask you this first: are you a zombie Jason guy or human Jason guy?
He might be all of the above.
Mike, that's a cop-out answer.
It is. I would have to say I'm not a Jason X guy.
Okay. I like that movie. I think it's fun.
It is. It's fun. I love the fact that he fought KM.
Yeah.
And she was hilarious. Love KM.
Did you say you had one of those the cryo tanks or one of the?
Oh yeah, it's over at my
Mike. You told me to ask a question, and then you interrupt with another question.
Well, I forgot about that. That's another big movie prop one. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say.
God.
I would say I lean toward the later Fridays with Jason all beat up and.
Okay, so you're more of a zombie Jason guy then.
I am.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of the first Friday movie with Pamela.
Right.
I do have her sweater, by the way. That's something I forgot to mention.
That's another major one. How did we forget that one?
A movie that was used in the movie?
I don't know if it was used in the movie. I know it was there.
Okay.
But I don't know. Now, Amy Steele wears one. I don't know if it's original or replica or whatever she has too. I don't know if she was able to get that from that she used in part 2. But I'm sure they had 5, 8, 10 of them probably.
Oh, they probably had a bunch because she was running around doing all
Right.
So, and I actually have Betsy Palmer's autograph framed with it that I got from her manager.
Okay, cool. So what is your favorite? Okay, you said the first one you're a huge fan of. So not counting the first one, what's your next favorite Friday the 13th film out of all of them? Are you a remake guy? No. I love the remake. I don't know if you are.
I'm not a huge fan of remakes.
Oh, I love the remake.
I hated the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Oh, that was horrible. But the Friday the 13th was good.
I agree with you on that, but I think it would have done better as a standalone. I think it would have been better as a standalone and not part of the franchise.
Yeah, because it kind of was, like you said, it was like a continuation, but it also was like it had parts from like the second movie, like, and it kind of went through like the second, the third, and the fourth movie were all kind of combined into one movie, like a lot of the lore and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm a big canon person as well. If you're gonna do the movies, you got to make them canon.
right.
Like I love what they've done with Cobra Kai and the Karate Kid.
Right.
I don't know if you guys have watched any of those, but absolutely freaking brilliant.
Yep, I like them. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Scream guy, you know, and one of the reasons I like Scream is because it actually does continue on all the way through.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of wonky stuff. Part 3, that is a little wonky, but you know, like Friday the 13th, Halloween, I mean, you know, even Freddy, like those all get really wonky in their timelines and all this stuff. So that's why part of the reason why I'm a big Scream guy, because yeah, that is a big continuation on even the new ones. Did a really good job of continuing it on. So I'm with you on that. I like good continuity.
Who's your favorite portrayal of Jason?
I'm always going to go with Kane. I think Kane did a fabulous job, but
some of those movies aren't
the original question. One of my favorite Friday movies was Freddy versus Jason.
Okay.
And I say that because they made it feasible. They made it feasible on how these two characters could be in the same place at the same time.
I get that. Yeah, that was actually the first Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street that I could ever see in the theater. 2003, I was 19 when that came out. So that was like the first one I ever got to see. I don't like, I mean, nothing against the actor. I really don't like the portrayal of Jason in that. They kind of make him like a Frankenstein. I don't really like that. I like Kane Hodder in number 7 is awesome.
Oh,
but his
absolutely.
other ones, I like part 8, I don't care for at all. I just don't like the movie. I think it's just bad. But I know a lot of people like it though, and that's cool. But I personally don't like that. But also, I like number 2 because Jason is like just a normal dude, like 5'9" or 10. Like, you know, number 3, he becomes like a starting lineman for the Carolina Panthers. You know, I mean, like he like grew overnight into like 6'4", 250 pounds. Like what?
Yeah,
so,
that totally.
I mean, that's what made those original movies scarier. Is I mean, Freddy's not a big guy.
No,
you had Michael Myers, you had Jason, Pamela Voorhees. I mean, those were average people that early on in the franchises that it could be anybody could have been that. And we start. Things started getting crazy when they started, you know, becoming 6'4", 6'5", 280 pounds. And
hey, what about Tyler Mane, 6'10" or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, nothing against those guys have done some great jobs.
Tyler Mane was awesome. He was great to meet and like really cool.
Oh, he's awesome to meet.
Yeah, he was. But like, it is a bit ridiculous to have your Michael Myers 6'10" or 11 or whatever.
Right. And you know, I'm not a fan of Jason Goes to Hell.
That movie's horrendous, dude. I still think part 8's worse because I just get bored with it. At least Jason Go to Hell does have some interesting things in it. It has like the Necronomicon and some other things. But like, it's still really bad. It's horrible.
It's not good. I do, and this is controversial, but I do like where they began to go with the new Halloween movies. I like the premise of those. I wasn't a huge fan of the third one.
Okay, good. Okay, Mike, we didn't have to delete this whole interview.
I was getting ready to have to say, well, it was nice having you here. I like the first 2. I hated the third one. I'll be honest.
Yeah, not a fan of the third one. I like where they were going when they started that.
Yeah.
I don't like where they ended because now they're talking about doing another one.
Yeah, but who knows if it's going to be in that. It might not even. I mean, hopefully it's not in that universe, but I don't know because you know how Halloween has like 4 different timelines or more. I mean, it's got like all these different timelines.
I got a lot of Jason Goes to Hell vibes from the new Halloween trilogy thing, where you know the essence was kind of going into that kid.
No.
No, thank you.
Nothing against the guy that played Corey. Nothing against that guy.
No, I've met him. He's a good guy.
Yeah. You know, me and Mike tease each other like, oh, we're going to have to be first in line getting his autograph. You know, just joking. But like,
I want to get my scarecrow mask, on.
It's like, listen, if you have a character like Michael Myers and then some like, listen, nerdy guy goes in there and beats the crap out of him, like, what? Are you kidding?
You can't make that shit up. I mean, you just can't.
He gets beat up by band nerds. It's like, no.
So, John, also, I'd like to, give you opportunity to talk about the name of your, you have a you're a consigner, right? So what's the name of your company? And then after you give us some little background information, tell people how they could reach out to you and get something signed for them. But also after you say that, what is one of the more unique things that you've, as a consigner, have had signed for somebody?
Okay, we'll start with this. The name of my outfit is Nightmare Authentics. We're on Facebook. And we also, we post a lot in like Concrypt and Bonds Convention Help. I hope they don't mind me throwing them out there, but it is what it is. Yeah. And those two are amazing consigners, top-notch work. And we're all on Facebook and we all post with each other. And even as consigners, we send stuff to each other.
That's cool.
I joke with the Concrypt all the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need your address again. I'm sending the Canoe out there and I'm going to need such and such autographs.
Keep that damn Canoe in Iowa. Don't send it up here.
Yeah, say, Johnny Horror, I'm sending you a Canoe. Have him put a paragraph about this long on it, because Johnny Horror likes to get huge autographs huge paragraphs.
Yeah, we give Johnny a hard time about it. Like, he's got like Chat GPT 500 word autographs he's doing. I'm like, damn, man, that's what's driving the cost up for everybody else, is because of these damn paragraphs that are 500 words.
Right. And it's like, I love him. I'm always giving him
he's great.
Johnny's great. We like Johnny.
He was the one that actually pointed out your video to me.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Great guy. Won't take the Canoe for me though. So
dang.
That guy.
Yeah.
But because of my wedding, I'm doing limited consignments this year. Cause last year we did like 15 conventions last year, and it was too much. And quality can suffer if you.
That's true. That's true.
If you try and do too much, and I'm human too. Made some mistakes, things like that. But I always try and go above and beyond to make things right if need be. But yeah, we're doing like Motor City Nightmares this year.
Hey, I think I'm going there.
Yeah, you said you might go to that, Josh.
Yeah, I think I might go to that. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I might meet you there, John.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. In fact, the Funkos that you see behind me, I'm taking there to get signed.
I won't be getting. I don't think I'll be getting Funkos signed. I'm actually going to get a mask for the cast to sign. So for part 5, I'll probably do that.
5. Yeah, the Canoe will be there.
Okay, I'll definitely be seeing it then. And I mean, for right now, I'm going. But I mean,
just Josh, don't lick it or kiss it. I mean, that's embarrassing. Okay, don't lick or kiss the damn Canoe.
But no, the Funkos behind me are actually of Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, I met him
and his cohort who played Drusilla.
Yeah,
is going to be there.
Okay.
And then at Days of the Dead Chicago, which we're also doing because there's a couple Friday people there I need, his other girlfriend, the one that played Harmony, is going to be there.
Okay.
So I am a Buffy fan, not even going to lie.
Me too.
I'm going to start calling you John Josh, because y'all sound just alike.
Oh, hey, listen, I started watching Buffy when I was in 7th grade. That's when it first came out. I watched it day 1 when it was on.
Oh, I see, Rick.
This is my weapon from Freddy versus Jason.
Wow. The arm that got ripped off, huh?
Oh, you got some signatures on it too, huh?
Cool. Oh, yeah. Sean
Awesome.
Cunningham and Ken is on there.
Cool.
Hey man, we'll have to have you on again and just talk about movies if you want, because that we had a blast kind of just talking about movies there for a minute. If you want to.
And you're a Funko guy, right?
I do collect Funkos right now, but I don't plan on selling them. Like, I'm going to keep them. What's this one? Who
Nick
is that?
Castle, William Shatner signed The Shape.
Wow.
And then we've got Sandy Johnson and Tommy Lee Wallace.
Oh, cool. That's very cool. Hey, that blue pops on there too, Josh. That blue does. Yeah, I like that blue on there.
I'll have to think about that. I have a Nick Castle signed Funko. Maybe I should think if William Shatner's at a con, Mike, that would kind of be a fun thing to add.
He's going to be at Galaxy Con here in Raleigh when the Terrifier team's there. I could definitely do that.
I'll tell you this: you probably won't take a Michael Myers Funko to him and have him sign it. He hates it.
Oh, does he? He hates it.
Yep. So this is what you do. This is what we did for that one. I went to my frame guy that does my frame work, and I flattened out the Funko box, and I had him put it between some matting, and then I had him cut out little signature areas so all you could see is the plastic behind it.
So he just signed the plastic. He didn't know what.
Exactly.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So he hates that, huh?
That's what I've heard.
I heard he'll sign the mask though, the original Halloween mask though. I've
heard that his image, but I've never seen another Funko Pop signed by him that says The Shape. That was kind of tricky to get, but I got him to do it, and he still didn't know what he was signing. I made up some big elaborate story for him, and
so what is an item that you as a consigner have had signed that you're like, whoa, that's pretty awesome. I mean, you got some awesome unique stuff. It may be hard to impress you, but what is something you've gotten signed for somebody else you're like, damn, I can't believe I got this and I'm doing this?
I have a customer that gives me post-traumatic stress disorder, but I love the guy to death, and he's a collector. He's the kind of guy I like to deal with, and he's a big Terrifier guy. So he'll like call me up and he says, I want something unique, or I want this. Also a big Screamboat guy.
Okay.
So I actually made, I contacted New York. I found out what life preservers were used on the Staten Island ferry. And I bought some and I aged them and I made them into Screamboat props.
Okay.
And got them signed by like the producers, David Howard Thornton, Kaylee, and all the people that were involved in that movie.
Do you have the director? Is it Michael Levy is in that too, or part of that?
Yeah. I don't know if it wasn't Michael Levy that was in that one. It might have been. But yeah, I got everybody that was at this. We actually had all of these items sent to Las Vegas, and got them all signed there, and then sent them all back here. But this guy, he has us do some unique stuff like the Terrifier horn that Art runs around with.
Yeah.
He has some pretty cool figures and some chase pops and some other stuff. But I try and give recommendations too, and I'll also track down items for people that want to get unique stuff signed. I'll track them down and get them in and get them ready and go get them signed. Awesome. Because people sometimes like the unique stuff. Sometimes they'll have me just order. Like I got a client in Australia. In fact, I think all of us have the same client in Australia, and we've got pieces that we've held on to for this guy for 3 years.
Oh wow!
Shipping is so expensive. We just send it back and forth amongst ourselves until he says, "Okay, everybody I need is on it." Send it to this guy over here and just let him hang on to it until all of them are done, and then send everything back at once.
That's true. That's a lot of responsibility for you guys too. I mean,
yeah.
That's yeah. Some of that I wouldn't want to do that.
Right.
And the amount of money we have into like markers and all that kind of stuff is crazy. I've probably got $700 worth of markers over here.
Hey,
so you've been to a ton of conventions. I know you being a consignee, you don't want to talk bad about.
Well, Mike, I was thinking maybe we should save that for another show. Talk about conventions and all that stuff. If you want to come back on.
Yeah, would you be willing to come back on later on, John, and do that? We can talk about maybe some convention stuff down the road.
Sure, absolutely. We do a lot of them.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that sounds good. We love because we like picking Johnny Horror's brain over the conventions too. We're fairly new to conventions, me and Mike are. I mean, we've only been to I've been to like 3 or 4, and Mike's been to maybe a couple more than that. But yeah, so maybe we can have you back and talk about that, and and we can plan that and see what happens if that's cool.
Absolutely, because I think all of us consigners have our own way of approaching it and getting the signatures we need, and our different ways of keeping track of stuff.
Right.
And but it's fun, but it can be very stressful.
Oh, I bet. And then maybe we can talk a little bit more movies too, because that was fun, kind of just chatting with you a little bit about movies and jokes.
I love movies.
Right. Okay. Well, I think we should probably call it, Mike.
That's right. Well, John, we appreciate you coming on here. Hey, if y'all need something consigned, definitely go to Concrypt and look up. You can look up Johnny. You can look up Clyde or John. You can look them up, and they can hook it up. And on there, do you give a list of which ones you're going to?
Yeah,
Concrypt's on Facebook,
right? A little featured thing at the top of Concrypt. I believe he has a list of all the conventions that the trusted consigners are doing for the year.
All right. Well, Josh, anything you got to say at the end here, man?
No, that's it, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much,
John, for coming on, man. That was awesome, and I look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Absolutely. Have a good one, guys.
See ya. Bye.
See ya.